Reading through the books that I'm using as my personal tutors for this project, I can see that in the early stages of learning all about Python, as with any program, it's all about the basics: variables, tuples, strings, order operations, etc. Which, to be frank, is a bit dry. Essential, but still dry. We will have to cover it, and we will, but I thought I would jump in with something practical first off to whet your appetites and to give us something to come back to in the weeks to come when we are mired in the syntax of if-else programming. The good news is that I can already see how the dry stuff is going to lead us into being able to create some really cool stuff. So, no pain, no gain, they say. Let's get on with what we're going to do today. We're going to start with Turtle, and we can do this by importing the Turtle module into Python with the following command. We're going to write our code as follows, and if you are familiar with Logo, you can see that there is a similarity in the command structure. Syntax is key here, so let us make things easier with a variable. As I say, syntax is key. The capital P of pen is crucial, and later I will demonstrate how that simple fact stopped me in my tracks for quite a while. So let us make the turtle.Pen open brackets, close brackets easier to write, like this. Now, every time we want to write turtle.Pen open brackets, close brackets, all we have to write is t dot. It could be any letter, L for example, but T is simple to associate with turtle, but it will be case sensitive. Capital T is not lowercase t. Now that we've created the variable t, it is easy for us to create a square using the Python syntax, but with our knowledge of Logo to use the forward and right commands. The value in the brackets tells Python how far to move forward in pixels and how far to the right or to the left to turn in degrees. The first repeated code the book showed me was this code here, which makes a spiral and works like this. The value in range is a value and a repeat. Python, when it counts, starts at 0, so the range here is not 1 to 100 but 0 to 99. When the value of x is first put into the brackets of the first forward instruction, its value is 0, and so it moves forward nothing, but it still turns 90 degrees on the second line there. On the next repeat, the forward value increases by 1 to 1, and then it does a 90-degree return. This increasing pattern continues all the way up to 99 when the repeat stops. I looked at this and wondered if I could not use this line of code to help me write repeats for shapes in Python. So I tried the following code, and to my delight it worked. Instead of using x, I just put in values. The range is the number of sides of the shape, and the forward and right are self-explanatory. Then I wondered about nesting two for-in-x range commands. But first a word about Python indents. Python indents from the margin in 4 space counts, or 1 stroke of the tab key per 4 spaces. It is important to keep an eye on your indents. I then created this code after a lot of fiddling around with indents and order. I am sure that there is a more efficient way to build this program, but it works like this. The first 4x in range statement has a second 4x in range statement nested inside it. That makes the base shape, the square. So what happens here is the square is built 36 times, but at the end of each square, Turtle turns 10 degrees before making the next square. Now that we have a couple of programs created and saved, it is fun to play with the variables. On this one, the degree of turn was changed by just 1 degree to create this spiral. Just a quick note about syntax. Whilst I was playing with these codes, I was doing a lot of typing rather than copying and pasting successful bits of code from one blank space to another. For ages, I did not notice that I had not typed a capital P required for turtle.Pen, and also for the x in range statement I omitted the colon at the end of the line. These omissions created syntax errors that really frustrated me as they created red herrings. This is what I mean by red herring. By using a lowercase p for pen in python.Pen, I got this error, which seems to imply my forward statement is incorrect, making me look at the wrong part of my code. Now it's time for a challenge. My challenge to you for this week is to create a Python code that recreates the spirals that start from 0 and work up to 100, but do them in reverse. In other words, can we create a code that makes the lines get progressively shorter and stop at 0? My other challenge to you is to add colour to your turtle lines. I think you'll find this one easier. Next week we'll continue with Turtle and look at using lists and other goodies to make the turtle outputs more colourful. Please post video responses in the comments below and let me know how you get on. If we all work together at solving problems, we will all grow together. So keep practicing!